And then, of course, there's always the challenges of the state. The way in which they continue to demonize folks who have the audacity to dissent, right? I think it's very democratic and very righteous to protest against a nation and against systems that aren't working for us. I think it's very noble for courageous people to call attention to the injustice and the disparities that we're experiencing every single day. However, we continue to see, if it's the media, elected officials, and other folks, try to really disparage our movement. And so to me, that is actually a challenge. And I think it's an acute challenge, in fact, because we're also living in a day and age where we have more Black elected officials than we've ever had in our entire history. Yet we're still faced with every type of disparity, from healthcare disparities to high unemployment to, the fact that Black folks make up 40% of those who are incarcerated, right? So 2.3 million people who are locked up and 1 million being Black. And that is happening with all the Black elected officials that we have and so on. And so I think it's really important that we look a little bit deeper and that we challenge ourselves, because there's been a logic that has said, if we just have our people in these various seats of power, that's going to change the course of history, and that's going to change our lives. And I think we've had a rude awakening, where we know that that's not actually going to cut it. And I think about the 80s and 90s and kind of why we're here even now, and the neoconservative agenda that really worked very hard to undo the gains that our ancestors made, right? The gains of the civil rights movement. Worked really hard to make an invisible type of influence through legislation that would, in essence, work to divest in the public safety net, and then invest in systems and policies and programs that would criminalize us. So I think about the emergence and the creation of the war on drugs, right? I think about the war on poverty and what it actually did to our communities. And that was actually quite subtle and systemic. And to me, those types of challenges, although kind of complex, are the ones that we have to set our attention on. We have to begin to look at the root causes and to deal powerfully with them. And if we don't, we'll find ourselves in similar conversations 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, and so on.